Hey! How is everyone? I have been writing down some questions from your comments. I've just been watching your comments the last few days. I hope everyone is. I know there's another snowstorm coming, but I hope if you're getting through the worst of the weather and that you're able to get your residences fixed, especially in Texas and all that, where lots of residences were damaged from this weather, and that you're able to at least start getting water and power back on. The replicator for tea, Earl Grey. Hot. He had it hot, not tepid. I know what you're talking about. Oh, that's good, Geek Hillbilly. Give you guys the chance to get out there, patch up things you might need to patch up, hopefully get some shopping done. So there's so many names. Catherine Stubbs, 171 Sign, J Cat Lady, Geek, Greta High, Uncover the News, Linda B. Hey, thanks for joining me. I did have the news thing on. Hang on. And hi to everyone who's watching, who's not on the comments. Thank you for joining me. Hang on just a moment. News thing on. Hi, Clarence. It was my cat looking at eBay for catnip. No, she was pissed at me for something, some infraction, and she was letting me know. Yeah, I was getting the evil eye. I thought you guys would like that picture. It's one of my favorites of her. Anyway, I was looking at your comments. The FBI, possible links to Alex Jones and Roger Stone with the riot. Now, the Georgia election meddling. Will there be subpoenas for that? But I also want to ask, even before Trump made that phone call, Lindsey Graham made that infamous phone call. Are Georgia going to go after him for that? So are Georgia going to go after Lindsey Graham? Manhattan subpoenas for Trump's associates. Are they going to do that? Hi, Annie S. Hi, Alexis Kiri. I know there was I saw your name earlier. I missed it when I was going through. Yeah. So. Oh. So I was watching Biden went and addressed the European Union at Munich. I was watching a story on that, how there's still a lot of work to do to restore faith in America. The biggest question is what's to stop the same thing happening for another riot 4 years away, that sort of thing. So it's allies are spooked. They are spooked. That right did spook them, and they're going to want more proof of stability in the US. So Will will confidence in the US be restored in 4 years? Will Biden have done enough to restore confidence in 4 years' time? Yeah, well, one of the Trump family take over Rush Limbaugh. Will a Trump? Well, they're certainly adept at spouting crap, aren't they? Take over Rush Limbaugh's show. Hi, oil painter. How are you? Hi, Michelle, my belle. Haven't seen you in a while. How you going? Renee Rogers, hello. Debbie Fitzsimmons. Yes, my stream is on. It's yours buffering, sweetheart. I don't know what to do about that. I keep a screen on with my watch all the show that I watch shows on and everything with mine, and that's how I check too if I'm having trouble with buffering and stuff, just to keep an eye out for that. So there seems to be no problems there. And Georgie Moon, where's Georgie? Big hugs, Georgie. How's Queensland? But if I didn't see Georgie's name, I would have known, because Clarence has written moon. Anyway, let's get into it. Will Biden have restored the US's credibility? Will that credibility be restored at the end of his first term? Will it be restored enough that they can feel confident that there won't be another situation as it happened on January 6th? What's that? Dell Optiplex. What's that? Oh, it's a computer geek. My dad used to do computers when he was retired. He picked them up as a hobby, and geez, he was good. He's using it now. Oh, that's great. That's great, geek, that you got your new computer and everything. Oh, geek, that's cool. My dad used to do it, and you know, his currency, somebody would either pay him $50 or he'd do it for a carton of beer. He was retired. My dad was a tyre fitter. And he picked up a computer, and it's like, oh, geez, if he, you know, I'm buffering. I will be back in a minute. I'm just going to close the stream and come back in. So hello, I'm back. Let's see if that stopped the buffering. So, yeah. So, will Biden have done enough to restore the US's credibility in his first term? So we're looking at 4 years away. Which way did I go? I exited stage left. Hopefully that solved any buffering. Yeah, I saw that, the bird flu outbreak. Don't need all that coming around. Oh, I'll have a look, see if bird flu is going to be a concern. Is, what is it? H5N8 bird flu going to be a global problem. We don't need two pandemics. Oh, yeah. So let's see. Guides of the highest truth and compassion. Thank you for helping me find clarity and insight into you. Eric Prince. We'll have a look at what's in store for Eric Prince too. I hope you guys who are in Texas are having a bit of a better time than you have been over the last few days. Let's see, what's on the bottom? Moving on from abuse of power. So they're going to be seeing that. Yeah. I know, that is so low. Given that Champ is 12, he's old. They often look scruffy when they're old. He's moving slowly because he's old. That is very old. 12 is old for a German Shepherd. For my little fella, not so much. But yeah. Anyway, so they'll see a move on from the abuses of power that they've been seeing and association with those who abuse power. So let's have a look. Will their concerns be alleviated and will some confidence have been restored? There's still a lot of blockages left over from Trump. There's still a lot of stuff, blockages to new energy. These countries had their belief and their confidence in the US sapped over the last 4 years by Trump and his antics, and they're still feeling that. So they're definitely not anywhere near ready to stand up and embrace the US again. They've still got to work through that. Yes, I saw her story, taking $3.2 million for relief efforts to Texas. The challenge for Biden is since they decided that they couldn't trust the US, a lot of the European leaders, allies, technical allies, I suppose you'd call them at the moment, they started to basically think for themselves, not rely so much on the US, act on their own intuition, act with new energy, and sort of stepped up in roles that the US abandoned over the last 4 years. So taken leadership in those roles. And that's going to be a challenge for Biden to realise that in some cases the US is not going to be the lead on things as they have used to have been. There are going to be things where some European countries have taken the lead on an issue and they're not going to willingly just hand the lead back to the US. So the US is going to have to learn to work as one of the group, not the leader of the pack in certain issues. In some issues, they will re-emerge as the leader of the pack, but in others, they won't. So they're not going to be regarded as the leader of the pack as much as they were, and for many issues as they were regarded as. So they're going to have to learn to deal with new leaders who have used their intuition and their own wisdom to guide things into a direction which could be which quite often will have proven to be good directions. And it's not necessarily the way the direction the US would have guided them, but it's still a very good direction. So the US is going to have to learn to do that, to work with that new structure. Here it is. At the base of it, they've had to come up with a new agenda, new leadership roles, while the US has been AWOL. And, they're not, here it is. This is that confirmation of this. So the US is going to have to learn, and they've developed new agendas in that time, but the US is going to have to, Biden's going to have to, he is going to go in regardless with respect to what, I don't think Biden's the type to go in and say, we're back now. Well, he said we're back now, but that means, but he's not going to say that means we're in charge again. He's going to say, we're back now. We're willing to do what we need to do to prove that to you. And we'll respect things that you have done while we've been away, that sort of thing. He's got to do that, and he knows he has to do that, because notice that the high priestess here, she's got pomegranates. Pomegranates are a symbol of death, but in this case, it's the death of the old way of doing things, where the US was the leader of the pack and led the charge in everything. It's not going to be that way anymore. So that's at the base of this reading, and that is a huge thing, and it is a major arcana. So at the base of this reading is that basically a new agenda and a new way of doing things and new leadership roles taken over by new people who aren't willingly going to hand over those leadership roles, even if they want to, until they have proof that what happened on January the 6th is not going to happen again, and that any future leader is not going to be an absolute madman. Okay, past actions leading up to where they are. Yeah, they feel like Trump stole from us, from them. Yeah, so they've got to get over that. They feel like they've been violated and things have been stolen from them. Oh, Georgie, don't apologise. Hi, Renee Rogers. Kathy W, hello. I said hello, Alexis, didn't I? Hi, Kathy Davey. And hello to all those people who are watching and not commenting. That's fine. You don't have to comment. I really appreciate you all watching. Well, I'm looking at how Biden, how much confidence will he have restored in the US at the end of his first term, and basically what he has to do that as well. Hi, 2535 Apple. And if I haven't said your name, it's just because I haven't seen it. So don't worry, when I do see it, I'll say it. And if I don't see it, hello anyway. Okay, above this is, the complete collapse of America working with their allies as a group. The complete collapse of that. Okay. Hi, GMR5, the complete collapse of that ability for America to work as part of a group. As part of NATO, as part of, surprised he didn't pull out of the UN, as part of the UN even. NATO is a big one, pulling, to work as part of NATO, but also the UN as well. There's just quite a few ruffled feathers there that they're going to find it. They're going to have to deal with that. But the biggest one is NATO. That's where the most damage was done. And this is still overwhelmingly hanging over relations between the US and its allies at the moment. Okay. Immediate future. Well, visiting, going overseas. Biden's been to Germany, he's been to Munich. He's going to have to do more of those. Get over there, talk to people. There's going to have to be quite a lot of those visits. If not him, Kamala Harris in his stead. People understand, because they're dealing with coronavirus themselves, they'll understand that it might not, things at home might have to take precedence, and they're happy to work with that, but there's still going to be a lot of talking. Basically, it's the end of the way things were with NATO, and a new start with NATO, a fresh new start with NATO. And I'm not saying the end of Trump's pulling out, Trump's relationship, because there wasn't one. The end of the way things were previous to Trump, which is, again, America taking the lead on a lot of things and stuff like that. So it's a whole new journey, end of one journey where America was at the forefront all the time and took the lead on quite a lot, and the beginning of a new relationship with its NATO allies and stuff. And, you know, it's not, America isn't regarded as one of the big four at the moment. They will be again, but they're going to have to really prove that. So, and that's got to start almost immediately. And of course it is, but he's got to step up and do even more impactful things. This is a major arcana. It's a card of high impact. So Biden's going to have to do more impactful things, more than just rejoining the Paris Accord. He's really going to have to step up, and I think the Iran nuclear issue is a big one. Okay. In the environment, yeah, there's still a lot of the allies. Should we trust them? Should we? No, not quite ready to trust them again. We can't afford to have things go wrong, blah, blah, blah. And so there's still a lot of doubt. And so a lot of indecision. Just gonna, the hair at the back of my neck, it's annoying me. It's at that length where it annoys, you know, it's at that annoying length. So it's not long enough to put in a bow or anything. So, okay, what do other people see? Yeah, other people see someone is still scared. They still see that Trump and his temper tantrum ways and his instability and his lack of wisdom is still a huge influence in the US at the moment. Until he is completely gone, they're not prepared to 100% trust the US again. So they see Trump still has too much influence. What are the hopes and fears with regard to redressing this this relationship with the NATO allies especially? Hopes. At the moment, there's probably a bit of a feeling of cold shoulder. The US is getting a bit of a cold shoulder from some of the, not all, but some of the NATO allies. And they're hoping they can work to redress that, to change that, okay, to where they're judged to be trustworthy again. But at the moment, there are some countries who are like, until they prove to other countries and these countries are happy, we will not be so quick to forgive and forget. So there's still a bit of that to work on. So it's going to take, there are member countries who aren't just going to jump on the bandwagon and forgive and forget. So sorry, I've just lit a candle. You know me, I'm always fiddling and doing things. The fears. The fear is that these countries are still going to hold out because of that. The fear is that they're never going to, the US is never going to fully recover those relationships because of the actions of a deluded man who did his best to gaslight and confuse issues and hide his dealings with unfriendly nations. But he didn't hide them. That's the thing. He was so out in the open and he left so many areas that our allies are questioning, that the US allies are questioning, and the fear on the US's part is that they're never going to be able to cut through this cloud and this complete fog of mistrust that has emerged. What's going to be the outcome at the end of 4 years with regard to the US's relationship, especially with its NATO allies, other members of NATO? And that's a good card. That's the Ten of Pentacles. Building up to full strength resources, commitment of resources, rebuilding up to, so re-establishing the strength of the resources that the US can offer other countries. Full strength, I think. Better and quicker communications, better lines of communications. Now, there's no major arcana at the moment. So these are all minor arcanas, but they're good minor arcana. So improved communications and improved momentum in the relationship. So this is at the end of the next 4 years. This isn't like tomorrow or next week. The outcome is for the end of the next 4 years, the Biden's first term. Better momentum in the relationships. We've got the Knight of Cups, offer support. Still some caution being taken, but there's still going to be offers of support where needed. So they're going to be enough where if the US offers for something with one of the allies, that it's not going to be an immediate knockback or anything, so that they'll be able to feel comfortable enough to say to one of the NATO allies, we're here, we can offer you this in the way of support. So there'll be, that's that. But there is still, this is why they're all only minor arcanas. 4 years is still not going to be quite enough to erase that memory of Trump's betrayals. There's still going to be some aura of hurt even at the end of 4 years, which is why these are only minor arcanas, not major. If this was this, I'd be saying the NATO allies would be ready to let go of all that betrayal that they felt, but they're not quite there yet. But there will be a lot of improvement, but it's still going to take a few years. They're not going to be back to full strength, but they will be well on their way. But there's still, with some countries, going to still be a level of mistrust. It might never get back to full strength, but there's still going to be a few countries that still feel a level of mistrust. But they'll be well on their way to, they'll have made a great deal of movement towards repairing, and they'll be well on their way with repairing and re-establishing themselves. But it's going to take time, guys. So, and 4 years is not quite going to be enough. It's still going to take probably another couple of years on top of that. So yeah, and there might be some countries who will never again place their full trust in the US, and that's something you just have to learn to deal with. I'm sure there are countries who didn't ever place their full trust because of just, you know, long held beliefs and things like that. But yeah. What 5 people are you talking about who are dead? Oh, yes, I saw that this morning. All the MPs, all the members of the government, they're getting their roll out, they're getting their things like this straight away. First up in line, yeah. Where were they? I suppose they're classed as essential workers, I guess. They probably class themselves as essential workers. Well, to that. I'd say myself and my husband, we're in Group 1B, which Georgie and Contagra and Flora would be aware of. We're probably looking at April or May before we get any vaccines. And yeah, he's talking about coup and riots, Chrissy. Who? Hi, Melinda Dutcher. Hi, Deanna. Hi, Teresa Judy. Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're not feeling bad. 7 people died. 2 Capitol Police officers committed suicide as a result of what happened, and they have been classed rightfully as victims of the coup and the riot. So they have been included in the death toll from that riot. And I think that's as it should be. Yeah, no, 5 died in the riot and 2 police officers have died since by their own hand, and they've been included in the toll. So, sorry guys, my hair's driving me nuts. Boris, you want to know about Prince Philip? What's going on with Prince Philip? All right, and I'll read on the Brexit fallout. I'll do that now. So we'll do Prince Philip first. What's happening with Prince Philip? He's 99. I'd love to get him to 100, but will they? Oh, cards all over the place. The devil fell out, which is not too good for the old fella. I've got not a huge royal fan. I quite like Camilla. I was never a big fan of Diana. But I've gotten over those rather stupid and childish, I hate Diana. I was quite like that for quite a long while. She did a lot of good in her time, and I don't know why. Just, but yeah, I've got nothing against the people, the royals or anything. I know that the Queen had said that Harry and Meghan are no longer allowed to use royal titles, which I'm sure they're cut up about. Prince Philip, how's Prince Philip going? Yes, he is. He's in hospital. He's a very old man. Oh, oh dear. Not looking too good. Losing hope. I mean, you don't want, you know. I mean, it's bound to happen. Very old man. People, I don't think he feels like I think he's ready to just move on. You know, offering him this and offering him that. He's tired. He withdrew from official duties a while ago because it's been harder and harder for him to do that. Apathy, lack of motivation and all that. And he's like, really, just leave me be. He's tired. Yeah, he is getting weaker. He is getting weaker. Emotionally, he's all over the place. He's all over the place. He might be becoming difficult to handle. Tired. He's tired. He just wants. He's been plodding along, and he just wants to stop plodding. Yeah, there's going to be some heartbreak. I don't think I'll go any further. He's tired. He could rally, but it doesn't look like that. He's becoming harder to handle and very resistant, doesn't want to go forward and do things, doesn't want, you know, he's had, you know, yeah, and he is physically weakening, and the physicians aren't too hopeful of him pulling through on this. Let's hope that he does rally. But yeah, he's 99 years old, and he's had a few health scares in the last couple of years, including a scare with COVID. So, yeah. The Queen, she's going well. I don't see anything, nothing's jumped forward in my mind to alarm, any alarm bells about the Queen. She is concerned about her husband when he does pass, which I don't know when that will be, but when, you know, when that does happen, as it's bound to because of the nature of our existence, she will be heartbroken. They have been together 70-something years, you know. And, yeah. So, I just... Yeah, poor old Sheila. She's at work. So I'll just send her a... She was looking so down the other night. Send her a big wave of happy energy to get her through. She works from 4 to midnight, so she's at work till midnight. So get her bursting through that last bit. Now, oh, she's a very strong lady. You don't be a monarch and, you know, of course, she doesn't have nearly the power that predecessors had, but she still has a lot to do and she still represents a lot. Okay, now what was the other question? Oh, Boris Johnson and Brexit. What's happening with that? How is Boris Johnson going? I'm going to give these cards a bit of a cleanse. These are the ones that I've been using for Trump for, a couple of years now. So I'm going to give them a bit of a cleanse over the candle. I do that occasionally to cleanse energy when the card's been used a lot for a certain person. That's why I try to mix it up too. So, how is Boris Johnson? What's in the cards for Boris Johnson? Elaine Maxwell, what is in store for her? I'll have a look at her too, Deanna. Yep. I did have a look at her the other day, but I'll have another quick look. Not as extensive, but I'll have another quick look at her. Let's have a look at Boris Johnson. What's going on here? What is the next few months like for Boris Johnson? Now, this flew out. Abuse of power. So I'm going to hold it that, but it can also mean healing. So, because I'm not sure which way it came up, it can also mean healing after trauma, after being hurt by somebody. So I'm not sure which one that's going to pertain to. So we'll just see. Ace of Wands. His challenge is to find new ideas and new energy to cope with, not just Brexit, but with the coronavirus. That's his challenge at the moment. So we're looking at the next few months, say the next 4 months. At the base of this reading is a change. Now, it's not reversed, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a change for the worse, but there is definitely a change coming, and it's a change he really had no power to avoid, okay? So, yeah. Past actions leading up to some surprising news. Now, we're looking at the effect of Brexit and other things as well. Brexit and COVID and how this is Anyhow, so he's in for some surprising news, emotional news. He can handle it. Okay, so it's not reversed, so it's not like he's going to go all bratty and lose it. King of Wands. Over this is the need for compassionate, stable, steady and strong leadership over this reading. So this is what is needed in the UK at this time. There's a need for this, but at the bottom of the ring, at the base, there is a change. Now, could this be a change of leadership? Possibly. Possibly. Could it be a coup within his own party? Possibly. Surprising, emotional news. What's in the immediate future for him? Temperance, finding a new balance, or being tempered down. So this is emotional news. I'd say this is possibly supposed to be reversed. Moving on, healing, time of movement on healing. And temperance, finding a new balance with the need for compassionate leadership. But a change happening. What's in the environment around him? Seven of Cups, confusion, gaslighting. The inability to make firm decisions, firm choices. Deception. What do people see? They see a country that was sitting pretty, working well, everything going, and all that's been tipped upside down, not just because of Brexit. COVID has not helped, but mainly because of Brexit. And that's what they see. And I think they see that Boris's deals and negotiations has not righted that to get them back to a place where they can feel their autonomy. They wanted their autonomy. They wanted a measure of autonomy back, but that hasn't happened. There's more dependence and there's been more loss. And yeah. Everyone says hi. So yeah, and they haven't seen that. They wanted to see this, but because a lot of, at least half the country felt like they'd lost their autonomy and things like that. That hasn't happened. They feel it's like this. It's just been loss after loss after loss, loss of position, loss of income, loss of money, loss of power, loss of autonomy. And yeah, hopes, Boris Johnson's hopes. He's hoping that he's not going to be seen as a wastrel. Someone who's only concerned with his own luxury and his own comforts. He's worried that this is what people are seeing him as, and he hopes that he's not going to be seen as that. What does he fear? He fears that This is interesting. His fears is a reaffirmation, a new relationship. This could be a new leader. So he fears that. He fears that he's not going to be able to reaffirm his position too as a leader. The outcome for Boris Johnson, the Empress reversed, smothering. He's going to be seen as having failed in his job. First in getting Brexit done to the advantage of the British people, but this is COVID. Failing in his job to protect the British people from COVID, or to help the UK through the COVID crisis and protect as many as he could. King of Cups. Reversed. Instability. Shucking tantrums. Just absolutely losing it. How dare you do this to me? You know. Five of Cups. He's going to have to let go. He's going to have to let go. Lots of loss, lots of regret. Didn't do what he should have done to prevent that, or what he could have done to prevent that. And he's going to have to accept that idea and let go and move on. Six of Cups, past actions coming to bite him on the butt. Things aren't looking good for Boris. I think there might be talk in the next few months about replacing him. Will Boris Johnson be replaced as UK Prime Minister in 2021? There's certainly talk of it, finding a new balance. Yeah, I think so. Sometime during this year, not in the next 4 months or so, but there's certainly by the end of it, there's going to be talk of replacing him. Could be challenged. Leadership could be challenged. And he could be kicked out. He might be either. Yeah, he might be forced to resign. Because he has done a deal, but it's not the best deal for Britain. He failed in many ways. So there's going to be new deals have to be established, and yeah. Could there be a call for a general election? I don't know. But there was one, not that. It was only like December 2019 that they had one. So okay. Somebody asked me about Elaine Maxwell. Hi, Sandra Henderson. Hi, Estelle Harrington. Fidgety today. Elaine Maxwell. I'll do a quick read on her because I did a bigger one a few days ago. So, but quick. definitely a new journey for her. Could be that she's being moved elsewhere. Could be that she's come to a deal. But it's definitely not sunny times ahead. It's a new journey for her, but this is depression, darkness. Moving on in order to heal. She's got to move on. But how is she going to move on from this? So she's been given an opportunity to move on. Details. Going into details. Lots and lots of details. Spilling the details. She was Epstein's apprentice. Of course, that's all stopped now. So the best thing she can do for herself is to spill what she learnt. She's not going to get what she wants, what she's wishing for. She's hoping for freedom, total freedom, but she's not going to get that. Blocked investigations. She has been keeping things back and blocking investigations. She's making, but she had to make a crucial decision in order to start on this journey. Where she is now, she's in a really dark place. It's in a dangerous place, and things aren't working out as she hoped. And she's coming to the realization that the only way she can move things on in her life is to cooperate and to talk and to stop blocking investigation. She's in a very, very dark place at the moment. So she's close to making a crucial decision. New investigations, new energy. I think she knows that she is no longer in the driving seat and she no longer has autonomy. She's got losses, financial losses, things being frozen, assets frozen, things like that. She realizes she's got to, he's dead. There's no loyalty to him anymore. She's got to just leave that in order to do the best for herself and to put herself in a better position. She knows she's going to have to talk. But again, there's blocked. She knows what she's got to do, but she's still tossing and turning. And she's, will Elaine Maxwell tells all she knows. Betrayal, offer, minor celebrations. She's scared of betraying some people. This minor celebration. But if she can... Heaven knows where they're going to stash her. But I do think she's going to end up going into witness possession. Will she end up in witness protection? justice, support, conflict, judgment. Yeah, she might end up in witness protection because she's going to spill everything she knows. But it's going to be, don't think that she's going to get off light, but she's going to be looking over her shoulders the rest of her life. And she's still going to remain where she is for a while because she's not quite ready to turn on people. Yeah, I think she will end up spilling everything. But there's still some people who I think they're in positions of power, and until they're gone or taken out, she's not going to talk. But I do think she will talk eventually, and she'll end up in witness protection. But it's very strict and limited in witness protection. Like if I ended up in witness protection, I would not ever be able to do tarot again like this. I would not be able to work in the GIS or remote sensing field. You know, anything that would connect me to a former life would have to go. You know, which is why you don't do anything wrong. And you just keep to yourself as much as possible. Will she die with those secrets? No, I didn't get the death card. I see her living a long time. What do you mean? What happened with the Lincoln Project, Clarence? I think there are some things she'll take to a grave, but yeah, like maybe things between her and Epstein, but yeah. What's going on with the Lincoln Project? What's the future? You want to know the future of the Lincoln Project, or what I want to do at the next is answer the bird flu question with Russia. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, one of their leaders. Okay. People join the Lincoln Project for various reasons. They all had one thing in common. They wanted to get rid of Trump. But it doesn't mean they all wanted to save a party. So, yeah, I'll have a look at the future of the Lincoln Project, but will it survive this scandal? Yeah, I will. But first, is the bird flu outbreak in Russia, is that just the start of is this something to be concerned about? Is this outbreak of bird flu in Russia something to be concerned about? Okay, I had 3 cards fly out of the deck. So, Ace of Wands, yes. Ace of Cups, yes. There's something not coming out. Yes, it is some reason for concern. There's something to come to light about it. Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. That doesn't mean it's going to end up global, another pandemic or something. But, okay, so what is there to be concerned about? What's the concern here? So we'll shuffle the deck. Make sure I've got it up the right way. Yeah. this deck doesn't have any reversals, so. Energy support, there's lots of energy around supporting it. Biden has got an eye on it. Overflowing information. There's some deception going on with what is coming out of Russia. They're not showing the full truth. Deception, this is the magician as a deceiver. Yeah. Basically old tricks. Past actions coming to buy the Russians. Biden's fully across it. At this stage, this is telling me that it's still contained in Russia. It hasn't gotten out of Russia, but there's more than just 6 cases. Okay. But this new energy happening, Biden is formulating with the people that he works with plans. They're ready to charge in and deal with it if it should come to the US. They've got strategies in place. But yeah, there's stuff that's not being said. But it is being isolated at the moment. Going to be kept close. I'm not saying it won't escape Russia, but it's yes, the US are concerned about it, but they have things in place to clamp down and, you know, isolate people. Stockpiles. The Republicans, Trump and the Republicans, they drain the stockpiles just for these sorts of things. So strategy, yeah. Biden is certainly across it. At this stage, there's no reason to think it's going to escape Russia. But he's not dismissing a possible threat to the US with it, of course. So they've got plans and strategies in place to keep things, you know, but they're not going to talk about them and all that. Re-establish resources. I think this is the stockpile. They're working on the stockpile. Yeah, their response to it, if it comes out, is going to be swift. It's going to be strong, and they will be able to jump onto it if it comes to the US. But they're not too concerned about it escaping Russia or anything and coming to the US. But they have strategies in place, and they are rebuilding the stockpile. Don't be surprised if at some stage soon Biden enacts will Biden enact the defense? Has he enacted the Defense Production Act yet? Because the national stockpile is still a long way from being what it should be. Do I look up? I'm not creepy, Clarence. I don't know who you're talking about. I know it's not me. Yeah, but there's more going on with it than Russia's letting on. So that's the problem. There's more going on with it than Russia is letting on. I'm going to ask, is Biden going to enact the Defence Production Act at some stage to restock stockpiles? And is Biden going to enact the Defence Production Act? I'd be skeptical about that story that America is receiving. I just saw the comment and I thought, nah, it's bull dust. I'd be skeptical about the sources of that story. No, he feels like that would be an abuse of power to do that. No, he's not prepared to do that unless there's a change that requires it. He's not prepared to do that yet. He feels like that would be an abuse of power. No, he's not prepared to do that yet. Embattled. It's not something he wants to do. He will do it if he has to, if there's a change that requires it. Thank you, Melinda. But he feels there's other ways to get around it. To do that would be yeah, not the best thing to do. He's not a big fan of doing that. He will if he has to, but there has to be a reason for that. I think he's looking towards, he feels that that's, yeah. I think he feels like invoking that could be misconstrued by somebody as they're not doing what they say they're doing. Because usually it's invoked for war, for production of, you know, munitions and things like that. So for some reason he's reluctant to do that. I think he's preferring to go and, you know, he feels it might invoke panic too, so it might unsteady people. I think he feels there's a few hidden bumps and hills there with doing that for some reason. I think he feels like he's talking to other companies and helping them with, looking to help them with funding and retooling and stuff. Companies that have been suffering that could be brought back and using the leadership for that to basically renew, give them a new life. So rather than ordering big companies to do this, he's talking to other companies that are maybe on the verge of shutting down or who have shut down recently and stuff. He prefers to go about it a different way. To provide help and incentives and funding for some companies. He's not a big fan of invoking it. So to restock the stockpile. So he's talking to companies about doing that. Will Laura Trump win? Lara Trump win. Will Lara Trump win in her bid to become a senator? Which is what she's wanting to do, isn't it? Will Lara Trump become a senator? The Hangman, 5 of cups, 5 of coins out in the cold, 8 of scrutiny, 8 of, this to me is scrutiny, burden, no. No, it's going to be a very short-lived thing. She's going to set out to change people's perception of the name Trump, but she's going to get a cold shoulder. She's going to be subject to extraordinary amounts of scrutiny, especially campaign funds. The burden of the Trump name is just, there's always going to be questions. She's going to be viewed as a Russian puppet, always. And someone who nurtured her father-in-law. The rule of law is not going to be kind to her. So something's happening. She's not going to be able to manipulate people. Her political career is going to end as quickly as she wants to start it. She's going to be crying over spilt milk, loss and regret. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's way, way too early for anyone. The only way someone would trust a Trump is if they're directly related to Mary and she endorses them. And Mary would not endorse Lara. There's only one Trump that America has any trust in, and that's Mary Trump. Aww, that's so sad. There's a lot of people who will continue to state their belief in Trump and his Kool-Aid and drink the Kool-Aid because they can't bring themselves to believe that they supported someone who, sorry, Bubba girl, you didn't like that. She didn't like the fly spray. Hey, Cameo. Bubba. Hello. Cameo girl. Here, Bubba girl. No, she's not interested. She's pissed at Mummy. Oh. She's going to fly off the handle in a minute because I sprayed some. Thank you, Running Clock. Thank you, NH. Much appreciated. Oh, Georgia election meddling. Will they be subpoenaing people? Hi, Shelby Lisa. They'll have to be brought out of it. There's nothing you can say to change their minds. Just be there for them if they do come out of it and realise that they've been kind. If and hopefully when they do come out of it, the only thing you can do, Greta, is to be there and say, I'm sorry that this happened to you. I know you won't say, I told you so and all that. That would not help. Just say, I'm really sorry that this happened. And that he was not what you wanted him to be and stuff. And, you know, that's all you can do for people. If and when they come out of their beliefs are shattered, is just be there and say, you know, I'm sorry this happened. And if you need to talk through it, I'm here. And just assure them that you never hated them. You may have disagreed. Disagreeing with someone does not mean you hate somebody, and just reassure them of that. So if you have relatives who have been, you know, and they are coming out, and there are some, that's all. I think that's all you can do, is say, I'm really happy, sorry this happened to you. I know we've disagreed about this on the past, but don't for 1 minute think that I ever hated you because you believed in this person. It's still going to take a while for the delusion to be broken. So Georgia, will they subpoena people in their case against Trump? For Georgia, for election measurement. Oh, thank you, Clarence. Big hugs back to you too. Yeah. Maybe lead them to find the core beliefs that they had when they originally supported Republicans or whatever. Lead them back to the core beliefs that aren't necessarily bad. And, you know. Okay, Sandra Henderson, thank you for joining now. Thanks for joining. It's lovely to see your name again. So, hi to everyone who's watching. Yeah. Okay, Georgia, are they going to subpoena people for the in their case? Ooh, yes, they're holding back on subpoenas for the moment, but they will definitely be doing it. Yeah, there's definitely the momentum. There's going to be some that they'll be crying over spilt milk, and they're not going to want to. They're going to want to turn their back and just ignore it. But there's definitely a momentum behind them to get them to answer to the American people. Yeah, they're definitely going to be getting these people. A lot of them aren't going to want to do it, but they're going to be subpoenaed, and if they don't appear, I think Georgia might convene a grand jury, which is, there's some people, there's a move to in Georgia to make that harder for Fulton County, but I'll have a look at that in a moment. To get a grand jury, they're going to say, if it's for election, you know, federal election, for the grand jury has to be convened from all over the state. So, but justice is going to play out here. Even the Republicans did the right thing. It's like who resisted Trump. They're still trying to hang on to power. It's odd. It's so odd. that the state Republicans are being, there's going to be people out in the cold. Yeah, there's definitely going to be subpoenas, and you're going to have to do it. Yeah, very strong cases. Yeah, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana yes cards here. Definitely they'll be subpoenaing people, and those people will have to. Will that Georgia attempt, will that still pass? 7 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups. No, I don't think it will. There's going to be a big fight back against that. Nope. It's a stupid bill. It's a stupid bill. Fulton County are bringing the case. So it's people from Fulton County who should make up the grand jury. But because Fulton County is a very minority-heavy county, has a high proportion of black people and stuff, they're afraid that if they do that, but it's not going to do any good. Yeah. Will Texas rejoin the rest of America's grid or stay privatized? Oh, yeah, Melinda, I was going to look at that too, yeah. Texas. Here's this again with the Texas, with the power. Something big's going to happen. I think they will end up joining the grid because there's something else is going to happen. There's still something big happening, and they're going to realise that they can't stay isolated. I still feel it's something to do with the pipeline, and it's going to be big. It's going to have a huge catastrophic impact. And they're going to have no choice. Yeah, I think they will end up joining the grid, but it's not why there's governors here. But I think they might have no choice but to join the grid. You know what I mean. Voluntarily, they will eventually, but they might have to join the grid temporarily in order to save people's lives, because there's something so big going to happen with the power there, the agenda here. The wise decision would be to join the grid. They don't want to. It's an offer they don't want, but I think they're going to have to do it, and fairly swiftly. There is something big that is going to happen, and the impact is going to be major, and that's what's going to cause it. The Magician. I think, oh, thank you, Maria. Thank you, Maria. Maria Almeida. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Yeah, I think that the National Grid are getting things in place for them to join up relatively quickly on a temporary basis, and then there's going to be talk. There's going to be a lot of support for it. Families are suffering, so there's going to be a lot of support in the state of Texas to join the grid, and I think that will eventually happen. But I really hope I'm wrong in that there's not something big happening that's going to happen in Texas there with the power. I still feel pipeline, you know. Something that's going to have catastrophic effects. Not necessarily people, you know, people being hurt and killed or anything, but it's going to be catastrophic for Texans because it's going to put them in such a horrible place that I hope not. Yeah, he reminds me more of Eddie. Thanks, Greta. Will there be mass lawsuits? Yeah, okay. 2 questions. Will there be mass lawsuits? And will the power companies get in trouble for price gouging? Okay. Will there be mass lawsuits over the power losses in Texas? Caddiston. Here it is again. Now I just shuffled the cards through thoroughly. I just shuffled. Here it is again. Catastrophic. Truth secrets coming out. This is, will there be lawsuits? Abandonment. Devil. Oh, there's something. Isolation. This is not being on the grid. Resources. Yes, maybe again, moving to calmer waters, momentum, a shift towards abusive positions. This is the price gouging as well. This is answering both of them. The Empress, yes. There is going to be some big lawsuits. Yeah. Investigations. Reap what you sow. Yes, there's going to be lawsuits. And there is going to be investigations, and will there be penalties for price gouging? This is the price gouging. These companies are going to be embattled. Justice, legal decisions, money to, yeah, there's, yeah, and they're going to have lawsuits as well. And there's definitely, could even be some federal investigations happening. Special counsel, or maybe something federal. I'm looking at this as the federal government, not specifically just Biden. The Biden administration might institute something there. Yeah, there's definitely going to be an inquiry. Because these aren't just Texans that are dying, they're Americans as well. And, yeah, gaslighting and, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's big kerfuffle coming up for these companies in Texas. I just got a picture in my head of Matt Gaetz. Now, you know, in The Incredibles, where Syndrome is left holding The Incredibles baby. I can't remember his name. And he's flying up trying to kidnap the baby, and the baby's going and changing all of this and chucking an effort tantrum. I just got the image of Matt Gaetz holding a miniature baby Trump, and the miniature baby Trump is doing all the things that the baby from The Incredibles is doing. It's like Matt Gaetz is going to end up holding the baby. I don't know what that means, so that might be something interesting to look at it in another session, that Matt Gaetz is going to end up holding the Trump baby, and he's going to be like, oh, my God, what have I got myself into? I don't know what's behind that. Just that imagery. Like Matt Gaetz is going to end up holding the Trump baby. I don't know how, I don't know why, but that could be something to keep an eye out for. Hi, Tara S. Sorry for that. Sharon Sykes, you're here. Hi, how are ya? Oh, my goodness. Oh, Matt Gaetz holding. I just think that would just be such poetic justice. Like I said, his newest hairstyle, it reminds me of Syndrome. Dirty dog. I have a question. Oh, is Georgia going to go after Lindsey Graham for his phone calls to Brad Raffensperger and stuff? Is Georgia going to go after? Is the state of Georgia going to go after Lindsey Graham? Is the state of Georgia going to go after Lindsey Graham for his phone calls? They're considering it. They're investigating. They're investigating it. And this would be disappointing news for Lindsey. But this is also the card of complicity. They think they regard him as being complicit with Trump. And there'll be overflowing emotions about this. Yes cards. They're all yes cards, by the way. Oh, yeah. Yep. This is a change. This is something that Lindsey Graham's not going to be able to avoid. He thinks he's sitting pretty. But Georgia's got autonomy in this matter, and they're going to use it. This is a change, something that Lindsey Graham is not going to be able to avoid. They are looking. They are looking into Lindsey Graham and any communication he may have had with anybody in Georgia, any Republican in Georgia in those few months. They are digging. They are digging. This is the past action. It's going to come and bite Lindsey Graham in the butt. Devil to pay. Going to get an offer he doesn't want. They're going after Lindsey Graham, the state of Georgia. Will it be proven that Lindsey Graham did not win? Then I'll ask the same question about Mitch McConnell, but we'll do them one at a time. Will it be proven that Lindsey Graham did not win? Oh, I did. Oh, thank you, Judy Malley. I did a reading on ICE a couple of weeks ago. I'll tell you what I'll do is I will go through and find the one that the video that I did the reading on ICE on. It was only within the last couple of weeks, Georgie, and I'll put it in the comments. I'll put the link to it in the comments, okay? Yeah. Will there be investigations into ICE facilities? I'll tell you what I'll do is I will do a video on ICE and post it, okay? If you keep your eye out for that in the next few days, I'll do a video that is exclusively on ICE and whether there'll be investigations and things like that. So I'll have a look at that. So I'll keep an eye out for that over the next few days. So now, will it be proven that Lindsey Graham did not win? I like that Jamie Harrison's been named the DNC chair. Oh, let's see. 10 of Pentacles, that's a yes card, and it's also the end of a cycle. Influencing, something to do with money and influence. New journey for Lindsey Graham. Is that you, my darling?
Sure is, baby.
Oh, you sexy voice thing, you. He is such a cutie. Could you make me another coffee? I'd really appreciate it. He's so sweet. I know. All the females went shiver, shiver, shiver when you went, sure is, baby. Page of Pentacles. Offers. We're going to go back and investigate some offers. He's going to, yeah. Oh, he got a change coming. He can't avoid it. This was in that other one when I said Georgia were going to go after him. Yeah. Whether or not he did, he won or not, he's in a lot of trouble. Confusion, gaslighting, lies, deception. Yeah, there's definitely stuff that's going to come to light. Gender. There's going to be some big news coming out about Lindsey Graham. He's going to need lawyers. I do think it's to do with campaign funds and offers and disinformation campaigns. Disinformation campaign. Thank you, oil painter. Thank you. Much appreciated. I still think he's not going to be able to he's not going to finish his term. he's sort of on this downward. I think with Georgia going after him, with stuff coming out, partnerships, getting away with something for somebody else's agenda, paid to do somebody else's agenda, deals and quid pro quos. Oh, yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. Yes, it might come out that he didn't actually win, but he's so in a lot of trouble. Oh, Ava, thank you. Anna Macedo, thank you. Just the glasses. Had looking through the wrong strings on the glasses. I might. You want me to carry on a bit longer? Normally I do 2 hours, but I'm feeling good. And you know what? How about we go for a bit longer, hey, and look at a few more things. Now, Mitch McConnell. We're going to look at Mitch McConnell. Will it come out that Mitch McConnell did not win? He cheated and did not win. Hey, Renee Rogers. So that flip, you can see it's me, you know, flipping the cards together. So, you know, I did that after the Georgia reading on Lindsay, and still got that death card. So, yeah. Now, I'm moving on to Mitch McConnell. Will it be found out that he did not win fairly and squarely? Yeah, I know. Either Kentuckians have their voting suppressed to such an extent that it's almost irrecoverable, or they just can't be bothered because they think whatever I do, he's still going to get in. Will Biden bring back those servicemen that Trump had deported? Yeah, I'll have a look at that. My immediate answer is yes. That's popped into my head, so I'll go and I'll have a look at that. You're not even anywhere on the screen, Dave.
Enjoy. It's very hot.
Hey?
It's very hot.
Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah. If you want to know what my hubby looks like, he is hot. He was when I met him, and I still think he is. He was really hot when I met him. I mean, he had pecs and arm muscles and Mitch McConnell, will it come out that he did not win his election? Oh, end of one journey, start of another. Interest. Oh, overseas influence. Might be forced to walk away. There's going to be momentum behind it. That's a big yes. There's going to be a momentum for him to reach. Oh, again, now you heard me shuffling those cards. He was carrying out somebody else's agenda. The truth will come out. Might not come out about Lindsay, but it will come out about Mitch McConnell. Yeah. How he managed to balance it so he won. They'll redress the balance to Russia. Oh, he's got it too. What is it with these guys? Who cheated the American people. Yeah. They, yeah. Yep. It'll come out. It'll come out. Hi, Ronald. How are you? I'm going a bit longer today. I'm going to add at least another half hour, possibly another hour. We're going strong. Hey, we got our blinds in, and we finally got our blinds put in properly for the out back, and with the anchors to the poles and everything. So happy about that. So happy. Sheila went, oh, when I said everyone says hi. So, yep. So, anyway, I'm going to get the picture. Get the picture. Gallery. Okay. So, this is one of it. Put in fully, secured at the posts and everything. And this is the corner. You can see the top of that. That's the lounge that sits in the corner there usually. So once we get everything back in place, we'll be, I'll take another photo. You can see James loves to put these twinkling lights up all year round. They're here. And I'll take a photo of them when they're on at night too. But it's a really nice place. And, yeah. Oh, I get locked down, but I get up again. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So, there you go. I was so excited to have them back, and the guy who did them was lovely, and put the other two blinds of the three that we're keeping up, and they're all rolled up because we've got to get a few attachments to make them fit in. And yeah, but it's to make them work properly, but that's okay. Yeah. So yes, we love you, Sheila. Now, let's have a look. What else is on the list? Oh, Manhattan DA. Will they be issuing subpoenas to Trump associates? Will the Manhattan DA be issuing subpoenas to Trump associates? Yeah. There are changes happening with the Dems about how much corporate money they can take. You have to have, like the presidential candidates, they had to show a certain amount of community money, not corporate money, before they were allowed into the debates, to join the debates and stuff like that. So you can't, I don't think you'll ever get rid of corporate money in elections for donations and all that, but it's going to be very strict caps, and you're going to have a proven level of community funds from the community before you can run. I think they're going to definitely be doing that. So Manhattan DA, will they subpoena Trump associates? Well, there's definitely some anxiety amongst a few of Trump's associates in New York and Manhattan. Yes, they're determined to get to the truth of his dealings. BRB. Oh, yeah, definitely. Deals, quid pro quo. Yeah, they're feeling embattled, definitely. No cards yet. Yeah, they're investigating people that he may have had business dealings with. Will more Dems run and win? I'll have a look at that too. Clarence? Yep. Thank you, Judy Malley. Well, there's coffee going around. Yeah, they're definitely looking at how they're going to be subpoenaing people who can testify on how he hid things. I don't think there's going to be any need to subpoena Cohen. He's like, yep, I've got stuff. And so, but they're going to be subpoenaing more people involved in him hiding assets and stuff. Definitely people who know about ties with Russia. Looking at how he could abuse his position. Some abuse here. Abuse of power, abuse of position. They're going to be, this is something to do with why he was in office, while he was in office. I think they're going to come across something like that they'll probably hand over to, they'll have more than enough to deal with. But if they can tie something he did to his office, I think they're going to tie something his corporation did to him while he was in office. Rule of law, the law of the land. To me, this is the rule of law and the law of the land, the emperor. He breached that. And they're definitely, there's going to be so much, they've got so much to go through. It's going to take them a long time to filter through everything. There's some things that, they're definitely going to be subpoenaing people. Yeah, there's definitely a tie-in with something he did while in office to benefit his company. There are going to, these are definitely the subpoenas people don't want. He's going to end up before a judge on a lot of this stuff. Oh, he seems deep doo-doo. Yeah. Now, I think it was Ronald who asked me, will Democrats run for office and win? Where exactly are you talking about? Just in the 2020 elections? Is it the state office? What? In 2022, in state elections, I'll do state elections first. In state elections, will Democrats run for office and win more seats in the states? More seats in state elections. So how will Democrats fare in state House seats? I'll do that first. Oh, Australia, we have our own struggles with Facebook at the moment, and we're talking to our government. Our Prime Minister is talking to the Prime Minister of India, which should be putting the wind up Mark Zuckerberg's skirt, because India is 30% of Facebook's usage. Okay, will the Democrats gain House seats in red states for state houses? Will the Democrats gain seats in red state houses? House of Representatives in states, in red states. Yes, they are, Oil Painter. Oil Painter, where are you? You in the US or are you in Australia? Definitely offers of small offers. Going back, I need to go back to basics, I think. I see this as, you're in Grand Blanc with chicken. Okay. It snowed. Hi, Cadagua. How's Melbourne this morning? Yeah, so there's definitely a need. I think this is interesting, because this is the pages at the bottom of the court rung, the bottom of society, and a need to go back. There's a need to go back to basics here. Go back to basics. But yes, cut to the heart of the matter. Find out what people want and need. So they've got to really go back to basics. Basics is knocking on doors, talking to people. Even if you put a survey in with an envelope, prepaid envelope, to say, what do you want from your, talking, balancing, finding a new balance. It's going to be found. A new balance is going to be found. Now, I'm looking at the state houses and their houses of representatives. Are the Democrats going to gain more seats in the next round of elections? Okay. And then I'll look at the state senates. Offers. They're going to be getting increasing offers, and they're going to be seen as an alternative. Because if the Republicans in these states are doing what they can to suppress votes in certain areas, there's still Republicans in those areas too. So they're not just being seen as trying to repress Democrat votes or minority votes. A lot of these people vote, there's quite a chunk who vote Republican as well, and they're going to be seen as, if they're repressing votes in this area, I live in this area, and that means that my vote's going to be repressed too, and that's going to start hitting people. It's going to start thinking. They're going to start thinking, I'm a Republican and I live in this area, and so if they're suppressing votes in this area, they're suppressing my vote as well. Justice, very much there's going to be justice happening. So that's hard. Plans, they're putting in plans and strategies towards that. They're going to gain a level of autonomy. That doesn't mean that every Republican held house is going to switch to Democrat. No, but there's going to be an increase of power within the Republic, within state houses for Democrats. Some might switch, some might not. there are still a few things being, there's still some deceptions happening. Hard deception. Some things are going to come to light between now and then. There's going to be a bit of a surge, just a surge in momentum towards Democrats, I think, and working together, needing to work together. Bit of a pause on Republican power, a bit of change of perceptions in some places. So yes, there's going to be more Democrats heading into the state houses of representatives. In some cases, it might mean a complete swip, and the House goes to the Democrats. But it's definitely going to be an increase in power for the Democrats in these houses, whether it's close, whether if things are needed, like it could be a split house, or it could be a very, very fine margin. It could be an increase in in independents as well. So an increase in Democrats and also a bit of an increase in independents, so that while the Republicans might have the most members, they might not have an outright majority. They might have very close. Yeah, so that won't happen in every red state, but there's a good chance that, yeah, there's going to be more Democrat representatives in state houses. Now let's have a look at the Senate. Again, I'm going to give these cards a good shuffle. And before I do that, I'm just going to do a quick read on what will Biden bring back those servicemen, people in the services who are darkers, dreamers, or whatever, that Trump deported. Okay. Heartbreak and betrayal. These guys were betrayed. These guys were betrayed by their commander-in-chief of all people. He was their commander-in-chief and he betrayed them. There's movement, a shift. Negotiations. The legalities of what he did are going to be discussed. Institutions. It is definitely on Trump's agenda, or the Empress. So it's definitely on Biden's. Biden hasn't forgotten them. He still regards them as his troops, or America's troops. There is review happening. Yeah, it's definitely in Biden's agenda. He's the High Priestess. It's a card of agendas. It's definitely on his agenda. There's definitely going to be a Wheel of Fortune. There's lots of yes here, and there's lots of major arcana in here. Yes, he is looking into that. He is looking at things, changing their fortune, bringing them back to what he considers as their rightful home. Queen of Pentacles, looking at the resources that can be spent. And, you know, some of these people might be looking, if they whether or not they want to go back into the service, he will bring them back. If they decide that they do not want to rejoin the service, he's fine with that, and he's understanding about that. Joining the service might be viewed as one of the pathways to citizenship for darkers and stuff like that. If they want to join a service, it doesn't necessarily have to be the military. It could be the police. It could be fire. It could be the Coast Guard, which comes under joining any service like that, doing any first responder job like that, committing to a certain amount of time. Could, you know, be a pathway to citizenship. Okay? Yeah. It was definitely, yeah, Biden is looking at it. There's so much he's looking at, and this is one of the things on here. You know how much the high regard he holds, you know, servicemen and women from any country, really. And yeah, he's definitely looking at that. Okay, now, so I just wanted to do that question before I forgot it. Now, let's look at the state Senate. The state Senates. Are the Republicans, are Democrats going to run and win state Senate seats, more state Senate seats? All over, all 50 states we're looking at. Are they going to run and win more Senate seats than they have now? Are they going to increase the number of Senate seats they have in the states? Are the Democrats going to increase the number of Senate seats they have in the states, in the different states? Not federal, state Senate seats. Julian Castro, he's an amazing person. He is an amazing person. Okay, will the Democrats in the state Senate, in the Senate of the 50 US states, will they increase their numbers? Will they win more Senate seats? Resources hanging in there. They're going to hang on to the numbers they already have. They're not going to lose any. So they're going to hang on to the numbers they already have. They're looking at resources. Strength and patience. Strength and patience. Ooh. There's going to be a couple of tower things with a couple of them. A couple of the Democrats. There runs tower. There's going to be some towers in some of these state Senate seats, whether it's with Democrats or not, don't know. Just changes, big changes. It's just good. They're going to have a strong showing. There's going to be some changes in some senates, definitely, that they might blast apart some Republican-held Senate seats. Magician, they have everything they need to do this. Investigations. Office. It's not going to be a smooth sailing for the Senate as it is for the House. There's going to be some really strong showing in some states, but in other states it's going to be a bit of a implosion. They're not going to lose any seats, Senate seats that they might have. But there's going to be a few scandals with some of the candidates they have to gain new seats, I think. And some of them might be forced to walk away. At least four. And there might be legal jeopardy for some of them. So, yeah, remember, some Democrats, yeah. So there might be a bit of a blow to the reputation of some state parties. But there are going to be some states where, yes, they do gain seats, Senate seats, and possibly even take the Senate. So, yeah, but I didn't see any scandal or anything with the reps, but there's going to be a few scandals associated, for some reason. Yeah. People make mistakes, or there could be some sabotage happening to force people to walk away as well. Some it's going to be dirty tricks from the other side. Some it's going to be, oh God, I really stuffed up. I have to drop out of the race. Yeah. And it's going to impact those states' Democratic parties quite a bit. I wish I had better news for you. It's not all bad news, but there could be some scandal in some states with some of the people running. So, you got some eye trouble. Oh, hope your eyes come good. Hi, Twaina. Nice to see you. Haven't seen your name in a while. Hi, everyone who's watching as well. And thank you for the thumbs up. Malcolm Nance. What lies in store for Malcolm Nance? Okay. Don't know much about the man, but I'll have a look at what is in his picture. Malcolm Nance. He's a bit anxious at the moment, going through some anxiety. And he's really determined to stand his ground on and set boundaries. So, dealing with things, he's juggling a few things. There's a bit of confusion surrounding his future at the moment, and some anxiety. Whether this is family or associated with his work, I don't know. His actions, return on his actions, a legacy. He's certainly worked hard to build what he has. But this is also family too. So there's possibly some family things. There could be a bit of a scandal, but a bit of investigations. there's definitely, yeah, definitely something in his future that is going to affect him. I don't get it's political. I don't get it's anything to do with his work or anything, but I do get it could be something family related. That's going to impede his forward movement. I don't know who this man is or what he does, but there's definitely going to be some form of judgment happening in his future. I do feel it might be family. Like I said, he was a spy. Okay. Right. Yeah, I think that he's definitely going to hang in there. I do feel that there's going to be a new start. Critical decisions. And he's still going to hang in there. So he's going to come through it and hang in there. But he's in for a bit of a difficult time with something at the moment. I feel family. I feel family could be wrong. But if there's an anxious time, some chaos ensuing, and some threat to the stability of him, and yeah. So there's definitely something going on, but I do feel like he's going to come through it. And on the right side of everything. So, look, yeah, time to move on. And so maybe some things from past that's causing anxiety and problems, that there's going to be time to move on and feel and have a place in the institution. So he will have a place somewhere, not sure what. I felt like this came out reversed, and better sort out those cards. There's something to do with loss and all that, and need to move on from loss. So, yeah, he's in for a bit of a rough time. Maybe having to defend someone, but yeah, not all bad. Just going through the deck card, because when I use this deck a lot, sometimes I accidentally put cards back in reverse. So just going through that. But he's going to come through it and hang in there. He will hang in there. He's definitely a valued person, or the administration. So there's definitely, yeah, he has a place and he will be able to take it, but first he's got to go through a few things first. Yeah. Now, has there got anything else on the... Oh, Eric Prince. Somebody wanted me to look at Eric Prince. So we'll look at Eric Prince. Yeah, I think there's something family-wise, something big happening with the family. So, and some anxiety in that. So I think there's just something that before he can do whatever Biden would like him to do, that's got to be sorted out. So people, I just felt family. Maybe some threats to his family has got to be taken care of. Not sure. But he is going to come through it, going to hang in there, come through it. Eric, will the $15 minimum wage pass? Oh, I'll look at that next, okay? In fact, you know what? I'll put Eric Prince aside for a moment and we'll look at that first. The $15 minimum wage. Guides of the highest treatment and compassion. Thank you for helping me find clarity and insight into the question of $15 minimum wage. Will that pass? Minor celebration. Page of Cups, surprising emotional news. Six of Swords, transition, movement forward into calmer waters. Strength, there's a strong case for it. The Devil, there's definitely going to be efforts to stop it. Ace of Swords, definite clarity. Yeah, there's definitely going to be attempts to stop it. We've got the Three of Swords. Movement, momentum. There is momentum behind getting this through. There's still some hidden obstacles that they've got to look at. King of Wands, Ace of Cups. I do feel it, yes, it will. It's going to take a bit longer than they anticipated with that Strength card. It's a major arcana, spinning the time out. But it will, but it's still going to be a bit of an anxious wait for people. But it will get there. It will get there eventually. They're going to have to some deception. Yeah. There's going to be some jiggery pokery to try and stop it. But they're going to keep fighting for it, and eventually it will happen. But it's still, there's still some time to pass before it does. I don't know how long that time is, but it's not going to be an immediate thing. It's still going to take some time to get there, but they will get there. Okay, Eric Prince. Thanks, Renee. Dana Weeks, hello. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Oh, thank you, Laura. Thank you very much. And hello. How are you today? Thank you, Laura Carson. Let's see. I'm probably going to, from now on, do like 2.5 to 3 hours on a Sunday morning, because I know that people come in towards the end of it too. So I'm going to, yeah. Eric Prince. What is happening with Eric Prince? He's normally a smooth talker who can talk his way out of anything, but this is reverse. His charm and his ability to talk his way out of things or into things, it's, people are seeing through the superficiality of him, and they're starting to, nah, it's not going to work this time, buddy. What's his challenge? Whew. His challenge is to avoid ties to the White House, Trump's administration. Avoid ties to the House. His challenge is to be able to divorce himself and break away from ties with the House, the White House, the Trump administration, because people are looking at him for that. Oh, anxiety is at the base of this reading for Eric Prince. He's not having a happy time. We'll see if he's going to be able to slither out of things. Past actions leading up to judgment. Judgment is in his past actions are going to have led up to judgment. He's being put in a place of judgment. What's over this reading? And what's on the bottom for him? Not having the confidence of people, not having, smothering, nurtured, not being looked after. over this victory, anxiety, victory. Something to do with gaining a victory. Going to drop his load, the burden. He can't carry the burden anymore. This victory card above everything, I'm going to read. Is that to do with the riot? Is that to do with the riot? Is he going to be tied to the riot in any way? Blackwater. 4 of Wands. Tied to the White House. Tied to the White House's. Yeah, there it is again. Tied to the White House's attempts to overturn the victory. Yeah, he's going to be tied to the riot. In his environment, broken partnerships, broken relationships. What people see, someone who has been able to abuse his position and somebody who thinks he's a law unto himself as well, thinks that he can get away with anything. What are his hopes? His hopes is that he's not going to sustain losses. This could be financial, it could be other sorts of losses. And his hopes is also that he's not going to be tied to losses as well. His fears, his fears is that he has no control. This is the Chariot. He fears the Chariot. He fears that Biden has won. And he's got no control over what happens next. He's got no control over the Chariot. This is what he fears. He fears the Chariot, things moving forward with him not having any control. What are the outcomes for him? He'll have proven to have tried to upend the rule of law. He'll be proven to be a strategist and a thief and a liar. He is on thin ice. He is not, he's going to lose everything. He's totally deluded. He's still deluded. He's deluding himself. He's losing it. This man is losing it. Let's have a look at that. Let's explore that a bit more. He's losing it. He's going to, and this is a major impact. He's going to be tied into that right in a big way. He's losing it. Let's have a look. Oh, the Empress. The American people. False knight, supporting the false knight in overturning the vote of the American Wands. Investigations. He knows he's in investigations. 2 of Cups in his partnerships. He's losing it. These people, once things crumble, he thinks he's tough. He thinks he can get away with things. He ran one of the most successful black ops companies in the world, and he thinks that makes him all powerful. Is he going to go to jail? Let's just ask that question. So we've got the little purple and gold cards here. Is he going to go to jail? Oh, 2 cards flew out. Queen of Cups, yes. The Fool, yes, he was a fool, and he's going to be starting on a new journey. Let's see what else goes with that. Oh, the truth's going to come out. Yeah, he's going to end up in jail. Not any jail, federal prison. Words flash through my mind. He's never going to get out. soap watching. No, Eric Prince. Not every Gemini is a bad person. Are the insurrectionists going to cause trouble on March 4th? Okay, let's have a look. I might get a fresh deck out. Okay, so just bear with me. Down there. Down there. You're a terror. Let's have a look. Just go through this. Haven't used it in a while, so we'll give it a good mix up while making sure that they're all up the right way. Word phrase went through my head just now while I was looking at this and thinking about the question, will the insurrectionists cause trouble? Phrase went through my mind. It's going to be another death knell for QAnon. Another death knell for QAnon. There is a fear, of course, that QAnon is going to be remain for quite a while and cause trouble for quite a while. Have a look at the future of QAnon in a bit, but yeah. Okay, the question is, will the insurrectionists cause trouble on March 4th? Wow, coming up on 3 hours. I'll be wrapping up at 3 hours, but yeah, if you'd like me to do 3 hours on a Sunday, let me know. Let's see. Ten of Pentacles. They think that they're going to be leaving a legacy. They're saving Trump's legacy. Knight of Pentacles. Slow movement. It's going to be slower than they thought. Four of Cups. It's starting to be a bit of apathy amongst the ranks. King of Swords. Investigations. A lot of them are scared of investigations that are happening. Prosecutors. Chariot. There's still some momentum. There's still quite a strong momentum to cause trouble. they have basically given themselves to Trump. They made vows to him, and they're prepared to keep them. So there's still some momentum. There's still communications happening. They still feel like he was cheated out of things. Yeah, but the authorities have people in there. So there's some spies. They're aware of what's being planned and stuff. Judgment. Yeah, they're going to try, and there might be some action, but there's going to be really swift consequences if anything happens. Really swift. They're going to try and restore who they feel is their leader. So they're going to try something, but wake-up call. It's also going to fail, and it's going to be a wake-up call to a lot of people. There's going to be swift action, swift consequences for their actions. Yeah, the Ace of Cups, the all-seeing eye. Yeah. Will there be arrest? Yeah, it's not going to be the success they wanted to. They're going to feel a bit betrayed, actually. There's a lot of their number who don't want to repeat. They've been subject to a lot because of their involvement in January 6th, and they don't want that again. So they don't want to repeat that. So there's a bit of apathy. They're losing some momentum, but there's still momentum enough for hardcore ones to try. But there's going to be swift action if they do anything. It's going to be a wake-up call for a lot of people too, for some reason. Let's have a look at QAnon. QAnon have not disappeared. They're still going. And I will look at the Lincoln Project. Someone asked me much earlier to have a look at the Lincoln Project. There's a bit of a scandal happening with one of their members or something. So I'll have a look at that too. Shelby, Lisa, what do you do? Are you a decorator or a house painter or a artist or take commissions or? Dana Weeks, you're a Taurus, is that right? QAnon, what's the future of QAnon? Bad shuffling there. Okay, future of QAnon. Ooh. March 4th is going to be a bit of a crossroads for them. Their challenge is to make people to continue to keep people believing their lies. This is lies and deception. The challenge is to get people to continue to believe their lies. Reap what you sow. Reap what you sow. You say these things and they don't happen people are going to reassess what you're telling them. You tell lies, you'll have to face the consequences of those lies. When the people who believe them realise that they've been lied to. What's on the bottom here? Oh, the devil. Whoa, that's not too good for them. Their past actions. Going to be a link. Their past actions leading up to a link to Trump. Yeah, hanging over it. Apathy. People are starting to just go, oh, yeah, no, yeah, maybe, yeah. People are just getting a bit tired of hearing them spouting these things, and this is just another story that, you know, we'll wait and see, but we're really getting a bit tired of what they're saying is not coming true. And perhaps they're looking at an alternative, like real news sources, real sources of information. Two of Pentacles, manipulation. They're going to be juggling the truth and manipulating with people in the near future. What's in their environment? The Page of Wands, they've been attractive to people with what they've been saying, with their slick talking. And they've been charming people with their stories and stuff like that. And they're going to still continue to try and do that. But what do people see? They see someone who's just rehashing old, disproven ideas and representing them as something new. You're not planning new ideas. They're just moving the flowers from pot to pot to have the same flowers and make them look a bit in a different arrangement. That's what people are starting to see. The fears, the hopes of QAnon, the hope is that they're going to be able to continue to attract power and money. Their fears, here it is again. Who got it earlier? They're not going to have any success there. Things are going to move too fast for them to keep up. What is the outcome for QAnon? 8 of Cups. People are starting to walk away, and more people will walk away from them. 9 of Pentacles. Their autonomy as an organisation is going to slip. They're going to lose some of that sitting. They're not going to be sitting in the area. Oh, there's going to be internal divisiveness and debate, and basically they're going to rip themselves apart, I think. And they're going to be embattled. I'll do a couple more cards here. I feel like I should look at this embattlement. 8 of Pentacles. Embattled. They're going to be embattled to get funding, money. They're going to look for new funding, but no. Things, their communications, the momentum is going to slow. They're going to slow from the chariot that they were. This is their fear, that they're going to lose momentum. Down to 2 things. Still want to feel like it. A couple more cards. Yeah. Heartbreak for them. Boo-hoo. Here's the wake-up call. Yeah. So people are going to start turning away from them. They're going to lose power. They're going to lose momentum. It doesn't mean they're going to completely disappear, but they're going to be viewed more as the crackpots organisation that they are. And basically, I think eventually they're going to tear themselves apart. Their power is going to diminish. Their hold over people with that 9 of Pentacles is going to diminish. You know, with the woman holding power over the hawk, that's going to diminish. So, yeah, interesting. Now, the Lincoln Project. What's going to happen with the Lincoln Project? They were formed for a specific reason. Oh, thank you, Tiger. If you can't, don't donate if you can't afford it. Use that money for yourself, to look after yourself. But I do appreciate every donation that I do get. You know, it does help. It does help. It does make a difference, and eases. Makes it easier with a tight budget. Well, we have a very tight budget, so yeah, helps with the tight budget. But please always remember to put yourself first, okay? Knight of Swords flew out. Whoa, bit of chaos coming for the Lincoln Project. That's interesting. Bit of chaos coming for the Lincoln Project. Hi, Susan Allies. Nice to see you. The Lincoln Project, they've got a bit of chaos coming. So let's have a look and go on from there. What's on the bottom? But the sun. So not necessarily a bad outcome. So yes, there's a bit of a scandal with one of the members, but you know, Ace of Pentacles, the challenge is at the moment to they're checking their funding. They're making sure that, you know, donations and everything that they've received. Their challenge is they're making sure, they're looking at that. They want to make sure that any money being demanded. Tiger, thank you. I do appreciate that. Remember, put yourself first, guys, all the time. But thank you so much, Tiger. I appreciate that. Please remember to put yourselves first, okay? I appreciate it. Yeah, so looking at their donations, they're running an eye over their donations, making sure. That's the base of this. Leadership. Compassionate, firm, strong leadership is their next goal for the Republican Party. Restore strong, compassionate leadership for the Republican Party. Okay. King of Cups. And past actions leading up to where they are. It's all aimed to get Biden in power, and that's what's happened. So they've achieved their aim there, but now they've got to look forward. So they've achieved the aim they wanted, and now they have to look forward. So how are they going to do that? Seven of Wands. They're going to stand their ground and set boundaries. They're going to say these are the boundaries that need to be considered. If you're going to be a Republican, these are boundaries that you have to stand by, and these are the beliefs you have to defend. And we will fight off those who don't want that. We will defend the basic Republican principles against those who have moved away from that. Knight of Cups. There's been a bit of movement to idealise these as the ideal Republicans, and they know that within themselves that there's still stuff that has to mess with that. But they're being romanticised as the people who can save the Republican Party. And they know that that's one of their aims, is to bring the Republican Party back to some of its foundations and set new boundaries. But they know that this romanticised idea of what they are is not necessarily a good thing. And they're going to be looking at that and what they can do to handle that so that it doesn't get out of control. They know they're not perfect. Deanna, thank you. Thank you guys for your donations, but please, as I always say, please make sure you do not leave yourselves short in any way, okay? I appreciate it. I'm humbled by it. But please always remember to put yourselves first. You know, I'm in a country where we do get looked after a lot, you know, even with tight budgets. I don't want to take away from people who need things more. Okay, so please remember that. Okay. Manipulation, and their environment is they're trying to juggle with this situation. I think this might be, in the future, might be a bit of a shattering of the idealised image some people have of the Lincoln Project, which is not something they ever put forward themselves, that they built it up as a saviour of the party. What do people see with regard to the Lincoln Project? They see a group of people who are building up an autonomy, who have a level of power that they can use. And they're trying, and this is what people see, they see them as being the new people, being the new power holders, I suppose, of the potential to be the new power in the Republican Party. Thank you, Dana. The hopes are that the people don't feel deceived. This is a really interesting thing, because this moon is shining down upon the inner workings of this clock. So they have strived to be and remain transparent in their aims and their actions, and they hope that people continue to see that they have shone a light on how they're working and that they haven't hidden things. The fear is that stories and gossips and communications can get out of hand very quickly. The fear is that things might get out of hand very quickly. What's the outcome for the Lincoln Project? New deals, new partnerships, new relationships. Wheel of Fortune. There's a change coming, and I'd say it's a good one. Working together. They'll be working together with different groups. There's the Republicans for Accountability is one thing. Adam Kinzinger's group is another. They'll be working with those different groups. And the end is they will be part of a stronger whole. They'll be working with different groups to rebuild a stronger and better Republican Party. So they're not going to go away. Their aim is to weed out those who abuse their positions in the Republican Party, and they're going to be strong enough to do that. They'll be in a strong position to do that. That's going to be their aim, one of their aims. Okay, one more. Yep, the Star. They are going to be part of a group. They'll be working with other groups to rebuild the party, weed out that corrupt element, and bring the party back to a party of new direction and new hope. So, yes, they're weathering a bit of a scandal at the moment, but it's not going to be the end of them. Okay, guys, it's just over 3 hours. It must be getting very late. So what I'm going to do now is, she doesn't want a statue of her on the Capitol grounds. I mean, it's a wonderful honour. I don't know if she has much say in that, but she's a very, deep down within herself, she's a very humble person, isn't she? But her state is proud of her. Look, the ones that are left in the main thing, most of them are creeps, but there's a lot of them out there who have left or who have gone in different directions, and they're going to come back and they're going to reform and get rid of people. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for doing it. Thank you for the support, and as always, please stay safe, stay strong, stay loving. And please remember, it's great you want to help others, but also remember you have to look after yourself too, and put yourself first to be able to help others. Okay, love you all. Thank you again for all the support, and I will be back Tuesday night. And keep an eye out for the video. I will do it within the next 7 days and post it on ICE. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Love you all.